Retro Gamer Girl here, and today I'm going to go through all of our pickups from Japan. Now, we only went for such a short trip, to be honest. By the time we landed and by the time we got home, I think we probably got a total of 6 days to be able to go shopping, which we're very fortunate to. And yeah, we had such a great time, and I was able to vlog everything on our new GoPro Hero 6, which I'll put a link in the description of which one I purchased. So yeah, I'm glad you guys enjoyed the vlogs, and you know, obviously I wanted to go make this video to go over everything that we actually purchased. So I'm going to try and shoot it a little bit differently today and pick things off and go through them in their individual piles. And yeah, let's get started with some of the Nintendo stuff. So I've left them still sealed up from the stores at the moment, simply because I wanted to go through pricing and remind myself where I got them from. And so yeah, one of the first ones is a Game Boy baseball game. This particular one was $3.24. I don't have this game. I probably have it as a cart, but the artwork's really awesome on it. So, you know, I know it's a sport game, but I thought it was pretty awesome. Quath for the Famicom, which is a puzzle game. There's one of the YouTubers out there that let me know, you know, in one of the comment sections of the vlog, do not leave without it. So I didn't leave without it. It's a Konami game. It's 1990, and this one I got from a hard off for $5.40. So that's pretty cheap. The Wario puzzle game on Famicom. Again, a game that I didn't have. It was $5.40 boxed. This one's really, really tiny, and yeah, like, you just don't get these games over in Australia like in this quality, so of course I go a bit crazy when I can. Parodius. Parodius on Famicom. So this is one of the cute 'em up style games. It's a shmup, and I absolutely love these games. Parodius is probably one of my favorite titles in a like franchise series so far. I enjoy playing all of them. I really like the PlayStation 1 version, and yeah, so I've been slowly adding these games to the collection as I can. So yeah, Konami just excelled with their games. A lot of the games that you're going to see are probably a lot of Konami and Capcom. So yeah, we went a bit crazy. F1 game. This one is just a basic F1. Looks pretty fun, but it was $3.24 from hard off, so I was happy to pick that one up. Biohazard, and then Biohazard Zero. So these two games ended up being extremely cheap from a book off. I don't think I ended up finding them any cheaper on the trip. I do have the Biohazard 4, which I purchased probably last year, I think, at one of the trader stores in Akihabara. And I thought I paid like a couple of dollars for them. So yeah, these were 250 yen, 500 yen each, which converted to $6 something Australian. And yeah, they look like fantastic Capcom games. I am a bit of a scaredy cat when it comes to Resident Evil games, but I'm really going to make an effort to play a lot of the older ones on the GameCube. And you'll see why when we get through this pile. I've got 2 new GameCubes in this lot as well to go over. But yeah, they were good. They were good buys. Also on the GameCube was the Rockman EXE transmission. This is yeah, some sort of like battle style Rockman game. I'm not sure if I'll be able to play it, but I ended up getting that for 540 yen. From hard off, so I was like, a boxed game, it's Rockman, I may as well get it because I do collect a little bit of Rockman stuff. And lastly was Mario Party 6. Now, I do have a few of the Japanese Mario Parties. Yeah, they're much cheaper than buying the PAL versions. The PAL counterpart is just phenomenal. The prices on eBay, if you guys want to go and have a look at to compare. So yeah, as soon as I see these for $3 or $2, I snap them up. There are some of the games in there that I won't be able to play yet until I can speak better Japanese, but nonetheless, I try my hardest. Clock Tower 3. Now, this is another Capcom game, and yeah, it's sort of like a horror themed one. We do have them on PS1. But yeah, when I seen this game in the junk section for $1, I thought, okay, I've got to get it. The case is really tidy, the manual is in there, but the disc is a bit so-so. It's scratched, obviously, but yeah, I'll try and clean it up as best possible and have a go of it. So yeah, it's good to have, obviously, all the Clock Tower games for ourselves. And Crazy Taxi 3 in this absolutely awesome metallic cover. I didn't even know this game existed at the time. This was our first buy when we landed. So we got to the Shibuya book off and went for a quick look around. And of course we found this game. And the cover sold me. I wasn't actually going to get it. But Retro Gamer Guy said to me, he goes, you know what, just, you might not see it again. So it was 950 yen minus 20%. So it ended up being relatively cheap. It's probably what eBay maybe listed as, but yeah, I think it's got a gorgeous cover. So yeah, totally love Crazy Taxi games on the Dreamcast. So alright, next, then I found a Time Crisis 2 set in the junk section, and from memory I have taken the stickers off. I think this was 540 yen. Now, what's crazy about this is it does come with 2 guns. Like, shocked. So I would have bought it anyway if it had 1 gun in it, but yeah, like to have the 2 is, yeah, like totally awesome. So it's the latest, or at the time it was the latest gun con. So I'm, yeah, pretty happy about that, to say the least. So I'm going to be playing using those guns. I'm positive they are backwards, like not region locked, so they'll be compatible with our PS2. And I have all of the Time Crisis games, the PS2 versions. So, and I have obviously the PS1 as well, but I'm really looking forward to playing the PS2 version. So yeah, like this is a super awesome find, and it was really, really cheap. So yeah, you just got to look through those junk sections, even though I got kind of lucky. Oh, next. Next is a game I haven't opened yet, just so I could get the price for you guys. So it's Flying Circus RC Copter Adventure Championship. This comes with a specific style of like RC remote control, which you can use on your PS2. It's a pretty funky looking game. I'm not sure how much I personally would play it, but it was something that Retro Gamer Guy had to have, and he does like to have all the accessories and different styles of controllers for PlayStation. So yeah, this one was 2160, so probably like 24-25 bucks or something Australian. But yeah, it's pretty cool looking controller. Yeah, just not sure what to expect from that game, but yeah, it could be fun using that controller. This one's actually a little bit heavy. Another junk section find was the NetPlay controller for PlayStation. So this is a weird PlayStation 2 style controller board, keyboard for gaming online and stuff like that. Personally, not something I would collect, but it was 540 yen. It's been in the store for probably a year. Every time we've gone back to that particular store, it's been there. So this time he said, why not? I'm going to get it. And I don't blame him if it's something that he really wanted to get. So yeah, like, it's crazy so far. Some of those prices that we paid for those games is, like, I feel like next to nothing. Alright, what have we got next? Okay, Alright, I might switch sides a little bit. Next, Nintendo DS Lite. This is the limited edition Zelda one. I do have it up on my shelf, but it's not the best quality. It came from the UK, and who I bought it from didn't take amazing photos of it, and yeah, like I wasn't ever going to put a claim through or anything like that because I ended up getting it pretty cheap delivered. But it does have a coffee stain on the box, and the console itself, or the handheld itself, has got a pretty scratched screen and stuff. So I wasn't sure if I was going to end up buying this this unit. But Retro Gamer Guy convinced me that if mine wasn't in the best condition, that I should sort of upgrade it. So I upgraded it. This one was $9,400 from Trader 4 in Akihabara. But yeah, it's a pretty cool unit. It's like gold, and I love the DS Lites. And it's got the little Triforce on the top cover. Looks really good. Next is the Battlefront Star Wars controller. This is absolutely such a ripper controller. The pad has like the Star Wars logo on it. It's quite nice. Like I really like the white joysticks as well. So we ended up not buying this controller of all things, and it's become really hard and expensive to get in Australia. So since we have quite a lot of DualShock 4s now, we decided we'd look for one, and I think we ended up getting this for probably around $100 Australian anyway, but in comparison to what we would have to pay for it here in Australia from eBay, would have been double that. So a regret for not buying it earlier, but yeah, it's definitely a good buy for us, and Retro Gamer Guy's really happy about that one. So yeah, like this console, the special edition, is next on the list at one time, but definitely we're happy to have added that to the collection. We also added the very rare Rockman Game Boy Advance. I've been actually looking for this unit for probably 5 years. I have found it on Yahoo auctions. I've also found a number of them pop up from time to time on eBay, but never one boxed. This unit was Japan release only, and it's a beautiful two-tone light blue, dark blue back with the Mega Man sort of like symbols on the lens. I have taken a few photos of it on my Instagram as well, but it's so beautiful, and it was so amazing to finally get this. And a lot of you have commented on my YouTube vlog of that particular moment when I found this like handheld. It was like such a shock. I didn't realize I'd ever get it, let alone boxed like this. And I got it for probably about 250 Australian after the conversion. And I got it from a store called Beep in Akihabara. So I know people say it's super expensive there, and yeah, it is for a lot of the stuff, but as I go through and I talk about where I got certain games and stuff like that, there are bargains still there, sometimes even cheaper than what I find at a hard off. And one of those examples is a Super Famicom game that I got, and you know, I ended up paying more at hard off than I would have if I just waited and known about the store and bought it from Akihabara. So this to me was an absolute legendary find. It is one of the rarest pieces in my collection that I put a rarity on, and I'm very happy to have it. So that one is a very good one. This is a weird PlayStation controller. I don't actually know much about it, and Retro Gamer Guy found it in the junk section. I don't even know if it's going to work properly, and it's a bit scratched up. So there we go. It's super weird. I don't even know how you'd be comfortable using it. Made by Hori for PlayStation, and yeah, it's another weird accessory, another weird controller, but 280 yen from a junk section, and he seemed pretty happy with being able to add this to the collection. So yeah, that's Retro Gamer, guys. Not mine, but yeah, it looks cute though. It does look cute. All right, let me pick around and we'll finish off with the bigger stuff at the end. But I ended up getting a boxed Dreamcast controller for 1,620 yen. So this one's pretty nice condition. I didn't actually have a boxed Dreamcast controller before. I do have a Dreamcast somewhere up there, a couple of variants. I have the Hello Kitty and a base model Dreamcast, but I do have a gun and a few other things that I really like to collect with the Dreamcast accessories boxed. And to have such a clean box, I was really happy to add this to the collection, especially if it's so cheap. So yeah, that was another good buy. Then when we were shopping at Heart Off, we ended up finding a Tamagotchi. Now, if any of you remember a Tamagotchi, they are from the mid to late 90s, probably late 90s. Everyone used to go to school with them and feed their pets, feed their Tamagotchi. This one, I'm not sure even if it's complete. I hadn't opened it until this moment, obviously. And it was 980 yen in the junk section. But it does look... It's in there. So it's a little pink and purple one. It's pretty awesome. I'm not sure if it will be working or not. But yeah, we'll get that open and fix it up and have a little bit of a play around with it. So last year when we went over, we were able to find the re-released Tamagotchi. And I believe that this one by Bandai is the original one. It does say that it was 96 to 97. So I'm pretty sure the packaging does look a little bit different to the Australian one, because I kind of remember when I had a Tamagotchi, but I didn't really use it that much. I probably killed it a million times. But yeah, this one is pretty good condition for 980, and you don't come across these things anymore when you're shopping. So that was definitely one we had to get. Yeah, so cute. So cute. Alright, then at Retro Game Camp, we ended up having a look around the store. Retro Game Camp has 2 stores in Akihabara. They are shown in the vlogs, and this one is the one that actually is downstairs. So they had 2 excellent condition PlayStation 1 controllers. This is the SCPH 1010. This is the Japanese style box. I'm not going to open it just because I do need a knife for this one, and it's very tight in there. But it is amazing condition, and they actually had another, I can't think of which SCPH it was, but they did have another controller there, which is in the vlog, which was absolutely amazing condition. This one we got for 1,800 yen, and I'm pretty happy with that. So in the way of what we have for PlayStation controllers, I think we were missing this particular box styling, and it's really funny, but we ended up getting the matching console for it, but we'll get to that because obviously I'm getting through the pile. But yeah, this happened to be another great find at a retro store in Akihabara. So again, just going through, possibly luck, you know, but yeah, you can still find the odd thing that you're into collecting and it's there on the shelf. When we were also in Akihabara, there is a Heart Off store there. It's not a big one. It does have a lot more retro games than it had in previous years, this time we went there. But over the years from that particular one, I've got, you know, gold N64 controller that's new in box for $10. They also had the Mario Kart one at the time there on the shelf, and I said no, I didn't want it, but as it turns out, years later, I've purchased the bloody thing anyway. So yeah, like, there's always bargains. And this time when we went to that Heart Off, there were not 1, but 2 memory cards in their box. So I love this styling of the packaging, and I think it would be really neat like I know they did the 20th anniversary PS4, but like just bringing something back retro again, like with the styling of the console, and make it accessible to everybody, and like cool boxes like the Japanese style ones, so like super 90s is so cool. So we ended up getting these for 324 yen each. And they're very nice condition. I can't tell you if they're used or not. One of them looks like it hasn't been opened, one does look like it's been opened, but that'd be really cool if they were new. Then we got from 2 other stores a PSP in the carnival colours. Now they do come in a number of colours. There's blue, yellow, red, and this green. I may have missed a colour, I'm sorry if I have. But we are, I'm pretty sure, only missing the yellow now. And this is such a gorgeous, gorgeous emerald green unit. And it ended up being about 8,900 yen. Something like that from a book off, and I think the book off was Shinjuku in one of my other vlogs. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to going back and re-watching all of those videos that I shot, because I can always remember where I got these things from. But yeah, we do love these particular handhelds and collect PSP. So yeah, PSPs are absolute very versatile little handheld, and as much as I'm a Nintendo lover, I really do love the PSP as well. And then we also tracked down a PSP Go. Now this was actually really good price on this, and I kind of felt like they may have mispriced it a little bit, but who was saying anything? This was at Trader 4 as well, and it was 8,900 yen. So we do have a black one. This is a white, obviously, but I'm not sure if it did come any other colours except for black and white. And yeah, the Go, for what it lacks sometimes that people don't like it, I think it's quite collectible. So yeah, like I don't know if any of you guys are really into PSP and stuff like that, but I definitely recommend, you know, even just adding one from the 1000 to the 3000 models. Personally, I like the 1000, but a lot of people like the 3000. So anywhere between that, you'll hit a winner and probably fall in love with it just as much as I have. So yeah, but this particular one, I felt like it was a really good deal. So Retro Gamer Guy was really happy with that one. Next, I'll probably show one of the rarer items that we got on this trip. And this is the 10 million edition PlayStation memory card. So it's a silver one, and this was again in Akihabara, and we paid 4,980 yen. So let's say it was 55-60 bucks Australian. This is exceptionally hard to find, and something that Retro Gamer Guy paid a lot more for his. And hopefully we're able to use this to trade for the other coloured controller for the 10 million edition. So we have the Midnight Blue console boxed, which is in one of my other videos. We also have the controller new in box, but we have the Midnight Blue. It also did come in a black, and we don't have that controller. So it's something that we've really wanted to complete that collection. So hopefully having something that we can trade off to another collector that may have a second one is really good for us. But this was found at Super Potato in Akihabara. So I really feel like this was a great deal on the day, especially knowing the rarity of it. So super surprised it was on the shelf. Maybe it just got put out that morning or something like that. But yeah, always look around. You can find a bargain. The other huge bargain that we got on the trip is the PlayStation 1 in the Japanese. This was the first model, so SEPH 1000. Now this particular one I found for 324, so 324 yen in the junk section. It does have its manual, it does have its inserts, but it's yellowed. So sometimes in Japan, I asked a couple of people that we know and also people that we've met along the way, you know, what classes these items to go into the junk section. And if it doesn't fit within the requirements of, you know, maybe even too much work, or is yellowed or a bit scratched or something like that, even though it might be fully functional, it still gets sent to the junk. And I think to myself, my God, you know, it's amazing how much you can find in there. And yeah, like to have this boxed variant, especially so cheap. Yes, it is yellowed, but there's nothing that a little bit of bleach won't be able to do with some cleaning up of it when we get some time to. And the only other imperfection is on the back of the box. It does have like a rip in it. But yeah, definitely a huge find. We didn't have this variant boxed, so we're going to have to try and find some room for that one. Alright, try and move over a little bit more. So next is our pile of games that we ended up getting. And we got quite a few, as you can see. Whether it was Sega Saturn or Dreamcast, a few have said to me before, where's your library for Sega Saturn and Dreamcast? And to be quite honest, in Australia, the PAL Dreamcast games are hard to come by, exceptionally expensive, and I didn't ever own a Sega Saturn as well growing up. So Saturn was something I completely missed and I never played at all. And it's not that I don't love it. I love Sega so much, but it's just not something that I ever had as a kid. So when we started collecting seriously, and the Sega Saturn was one that I didn't own as a kid that I definitely wanted to get. So it was one of the first consoles I ever purchased in Japan, and to be honest, I've never really added a huge library to it. I would just go through the junk section, look for dollar games that I could get, which is perfectly fine, but I have like the rally games, I have like bass fishing, virtual fighter, a few things like that that, you know, are great games, but nothing like what is really out there for the library. So this time when I come to Japan, I wanted to make sure that I'd written a concise list and complete list that would give me a guide on some really fantastic games that I've never played before that I really wanted to. So when I go through this pile, I'll go through some of the, you know, prices and stuff like that as well, and hopefully give you some details on some of the games and maybe why I bought them. So let's get into it. The first one that we got for the 3D, this is their PC Engine, my bad, is Twin Bee, and it was 2160. So yeah, this particular game, we don't have a huge amount for PC Engine. The PC Engine was only purchased last year by us, and it's one of the newer style, like newer ones that we've started entering into the world of collecting, I suppose you could say. Just trying to find the right words there. But yeah, like Twin Bee is a cute 'em up style game. You'll probably find that a few of the games I'm going to go through fall in the same category. It is Konami, and I think it was about 90, it says 92, so yeah, that would have been when it came out. But I do have a few Twin Bee games on different platforms, so I definitely love the cute 'em up style shmups. So yeah, we thought that was a really great price as well, and that was from a hard off. Then I found Total Eclipse, which is, it looks like a, I can't even say what it is. It sort of looks like you're a starship fighter and you're going around blowing stuff up. And for $1, I couldn't say no. This is actually on the 3DO, and we've got one more funny 3DO game that we added to the collection. Now, this one is Virtual Cameraman 4. I laugh because when you see some screenshots of it, I've had to blur a couple of little bits out. But Virtual Cameraman is, let's say, Pokemon Snap for people of taking it of girls. So we found it absolutely very funny and we wanted to get it. It was on the more expensive games that we had purchased the whole trip. So this one was $2,900 for this particular game, but it looks fun, it looks funny. We'll be doing a lot of videos on our Instagram of this, and if I didn't probably get in trouble, I would try to put this on Twitch or YouTube Gaming, but it could have some nudity in it, so yeah, I'm not sure if you're allowed to do that. So it's pretty funny though, so I couldn't really find too many videos online about it and what to expect, but hey, I'll give it a go. Now we're getting into the Dreamcast games. I found Soul Calibur. It is a fighting game, and I'm sure most of you have heard of it before. Namco game. It was in the junk bin. The disc is awesome condition. It is complete, but it does have a big crack on the front of it. But yeah, a game that I really wanted to add to the Dreamcast collection, and especially adding it for $1. Who could go wrong? Next is the Typing of the Dead. The Typing of the Dead. So this is another Dreamcast game. It was 500 yen, and I'm not actually quite sure what to expect from this. I love House of the Dead, but I didn't realize that this actually could look like you actually have to type to kill or to get through the levels. So not knowing Japanese is going to be probably a little bit of a challenge for that one, but I am yet to look that up on YouTube to see exactly what I'm going to be expecting. I wasn't quite expecting that, but when I had a look at when I was packing everything on here to go through and I realized what it was, I was like, oh, I thought it was just House of the Dead on Dreamcast, but it's not. It's typing. So if you know anything about that, let me know in the comment section below, but I'm open to all games. The next one is Virtual Cop 2. This game also was on the Sega Saturn, which I have. This was 500 yen from a book off, and I love shooters. I think I've said this so many times. I just love them. I love the light guns. I love light gun games. I want them to bring more light gun games out, or back, or something. Just anyone, bring them out. I think VR, getting a little bit off topic, but I think the VR has such a great opportunity to create like some old classics for the PS4, recreating Point Blank and other things like that. Just, it'd be so much fun. So yes, I can't wait to play this. Absolutely can't wait to play. Love, 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 love those games. Next is one game I had years ago. I did have a Dreamcast, and I did have Marvel vs. Capcom. I took the Dreamcast back to Game Traders back in the day because it just kept failing on me, and I think it was boxed. We changed the unit over, something happened, failed again, which obviously is a known fault to them. Not knowing what I know now about PAL consoles and Dreamcast being so expensive now, I would have just held on to it, but I sold it back to them and then I ended up buying some NES games or something like that. But this is one of my favorite games of all time. I don't know why, I just love playing this game. I used to spend so much time playing Marvel vs. Capcom, and probably because it's got Mega Man in it and Spider-Man, two of my favorite characters. So yeah, if you haven't played this game, definitely check it out. But I'm sure most of you probably have heard of it before and or had played it. Another great Capcom game, absolute ripper. Now we're getting into the Sega Saturn games that I got. So here is the Twin Bee. So this is the 10th anniversary of the particular deluxe pack. This one was 1,250 yen, and it looks like a book off that I got this one from. And again, I wanted to add some really good games to these libraries, and I'm super happy that I was able to get them at such good prices. And yeah, Twin Bee is one, as I said before, that I've been playing. I've got it on Super Famicom and totally enjoyed it, so it was going to go on the list to try and find as many games as I could for Sega Saturn or any other console, and yeah, it ended up being a winner, so I'm looking forward to playing those games. Next was another cheapie buy, Slam Jam 96. So just a basketball game on the Saturn, and I paid $3.24 at a Hard Off. Like, that just seems so cheap. It's got a spine card, the disc's in great condition. It looks like it's probably only been played a few times. So yeah, like sport game, yes, but it's probably going to be fun with friends and stuff like that. The next one is Fighting Vipers. This particular game was $3.24 from a Hard Off as well. It's just a sort of basic fighting game. I don't know much about it, but it looked cool. Fighting Vipers sound like a great name too, and I'm willing to give anything a shot for $3.24, and never know, might be one of my favourite games. Another game that I got was X-Men Children of the Atom. I purchased this for 500 yen. It was actually in the PlayStation section and on my vlogs. I got this in Akihabara, and it was from the Book Off. So I think this was an absolute steal, and a few people have commented on my YouTube and let me know that this is a really good game. So I'm really happy that I ended up finding it, and it's a fighter, and I love the X-Men, so I know I'm going to really enjoy this game. So yeah, to add a few games that I didn't know about it. I love Capcom, and yeah, to have everyone say it actually is a really good game. I feel happy with the price of getting it for like, $5 or $6. So next is Nights into Dreams, which is a platformer game, and I'm looking forward to playing this. It was $3.24 at Hard Off, and yeah, it just looks like this cute jester style girl in a cool land, and yeah, like anything that sort of looks like an awesome platformer, I'm so on board to play. Hopefully I'm able to get through a lot of levels and understand it easily enough, and I'm really looking forward to that. So yeah, I'm not sure if that was released in other regions as well, or if it was Japan only, but I'm looking forward to that one. The other games, so now we're getting onto the PlayStation pile, is Metal Slug X on PlayStation. So yeah, I don't have a lot of Metal Slug games. I don't even know how I have virtually none. We've got a couple on the PSP, and yeah, I don't really recall having any other ones, to be honest. So yeah, when I seen these for 980 yen at a Hard Off, I was like, yeah, Metal Slug games are always pricey, and they're always fun and easy to play, and you can play them for ages and just never get bored. So I really wanted to get this game, and yeah, it's another good find. The Chobo Collection, this is the 10th anniversary one. It is complete, and I think it was taking the sticker off this one, but I think it was about 450 yen. And I've never played these games before, not quite sure what to expect, but it looks super cute with the little chick on it, and yeah, I'm not sure what to expect. Is racing or something like that, I think, maybe. But yeah, that one was not on the list, but it was in the cheap bin, and I thought, why not get it? And it's the 10th anniversary. Next is Vigilante 8. I don't own this game in PAL format, and I remember playing it as a kid, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was a really cool racing style game, and I ended up picking this up at a Hard Off for $3.24, and to me it just seemed like a no-brainer. This was a totally awesome game in the day, and I'm definitely looking forward to playing this one again. Then we've got Door to the Phantom Isle. This game looks like another platformer, and I paid $3.24 for this one. I'm not sure what to expect from it. Again, it's not a game that I grew up with or have played before, but I did a little bit of research when I was in the store to see if I would be able to play it, and it looked really awesome. So I think for that price, it was a good one to grab. Total NBA 97. I do have this game in PAL. I like it. Funny enough, I ended up getting 2 basketball games this trip, but this was in the dollar bin and it's complete and the disc's in awesome condition, so I thought, nah, I'm gonna get that, definitely get that as well. I cannot say this game. Pew Pew. It's a puzzle game, and I ended up getting this, I think, also in the dollar section, something like that. And I had this game on like other platforms, so I probably got Super Famicom, and I know it came out on Switch, but I can't think of what else I have this on. But yeah, I thought for $1, and it's got awesome cover, and I'm able to play the puzzle games pretty easily, and I love puzzle games, so I'm sorry that I pronounced it incorrectly, but I'm sure someone will correct me on the comments below, and I'm very sorry for getting it wrong, but I don't know how to pronounce it properly. Next is Psychic Force. This one, I don't even know quite what to expect. It does look like a shooter style game, or fighting, so yeah, it looks like it could also have a little bit of RPG element in it and full story, but it did come with the spine cards in there, and I got this in the junk section for another $1, and it's got an absolutely awesome wicked cover, so I'm looking forward to playing that one. Next, I have been searching for this game forever, and it was on my list, and I finally was able to tick it off, is Gunner's Heaven. So this game only was available PAL, Europe, and also Japan. So I don't know why it wasn't given a North American, like an American release at all. I couldn't really find too much information out about that, but this is a like a gun game, like a fire game, so you're actually walking around though, shooting the guns. I'm looking forward to playing this ever so much. It's got totally awesome gameplay, and I've got it on over on the TV on my right hand side here, ready to go after I stop filming this, so I can do a little bit of gameplay through it. I'm totally looking forward to playing it. It looks so awesome, and I ended up finding this at a hard off at the end of the trip, and it was probably it was like 3,000 yen or something like that, so I didn't pay very much for it at all. I think it's probably double that on eBay or a bit more, but when you're playing the game, you can be one of 2 characters, the guy or the girl, and yeah, go through, fight characters as you go along, and then there's a few mini bosses and stuff like that. So I can't quite remember how I got onto this game. It may have been Radical Reggie or Metal Jesus Rocks, but it's been on my list for a long while as well, and as soon as I was able to see it, I thought, nah, I have to get that one. I just have to. So I'm really happy I was able to add that to the collection. Lucky last is just a few others that we ended up grabbing, which is Biohazard 3 on the PlayStation. This is a game we do have in PAL, but the cover is so awesome from Japan, and I really want to get into playing all of the Biohazards anyway, and getting over my fear of horror games. So another awesome Capcom game, and I got this for $2, 250 yen, so like $3 something Australian, from a book off, and it's complete and in excellent condition. It's a very clean copy of the game. The other one is the Namco Museum Encore. Now this is disc 6 of the set. So we did have 1 to 5, but we weren't able to ever find a copy of this one, or even find it at a reasonable price. They do have a collection of different games on each disc. This particular one has King and Balloon, Motos, Sky Kid, Rolling Thunder, sorry, something I can't read, Dragon Saber, and I think it's Rompers. So this is another awesome thing that we had on the list to get, and were able to find it. I think it was ended up being, with the conversion, probably $20 Australian, and yeah, this particular one just always seemed to elude us when we would travel to Japan. So we've had the other 5 for quite a while, but we weren't able to get that one. And this we ended up finding at a book off, and yeah, very happy that we've got the set now. So there's one thing ticked off, so I can move on to collecting something else or trying to find something else. Then lastly, this was not on the list, and I'm not entirely sure what to expect from the game, but it does say that it's Rockman Complete Works. So it looks like it has the older Rockman games on it. Maybe it's just 1 or 2, I'm not exactly sure, but I ended up getting this for PlayStation for 1,080 yen, which I thought was very cheap for a Rockman game, especially if it does have a few more of the copies of the games on there. And yeah, normally Rockman games for PlayStation go between $20 and $40 or something like that. So to get this for like in the $10 mark, I thought was really, really awesome. And even though it probably wasn't on my list, anything Rockman is always on my list. So I was happy to end up scoring this game for what I think was an absolute bargain. Alright, so we're getting to the pointy end now. Let's go through these. Let's start with the N64. This is an Alice game. Alice Trump 64 or something like that. I'm not sure if it actually got a release anywhere else or if it's a Japan exclusive, but I definitely don't remember seeing it as a kid for my Nintendo 64 or on the shelves or anything like that. And it's sort of like you go through and you've got puzzles and playing card games and stuff like that. So it's probably not one I'm going to play as such, but I did want to have it for their collection because I'm an absolute Alice in Wonderland fanatic. I do love Alice in Wonderland a lot, and it ended up being 540 yen from a hard off, and it's boxed and complete, and it, you know, it's pretty nice shape with a little bit of a dent here, but yeah, I thought to myself, you know, this is probably a good buy, you know, long term, because I collect Alice in Wonderland stuff, and when I get to learn Japanese more, I'll definitely be able to play that game a little bit more. The other game is Smash Brothers for N64. Now I do have the cartridge of this in Japanese, and I've played it quite a lot with friends and stuff like that, but I don't have the PAL version, and I probably will never buy the PAL version. But I always wanted to get this boxed. I love the artwork on it. It's absolutely amazing. And the particular store that we went to had this last year, and I ummed and ahed, oh, I'll get it cheaper somewhere else. Oh, I'll find it, da da da. And I didn't end up finding it cheaper. It's been on my mind, bugging me since October last year to get this game. We walked back in the store. It's on the vlog when I picked this game up. And yeah, this was $1,620. Fast forward 2 more days, I ended up finding it in a junk bin, much cheaper, but not as good a condition. So, and when I mean much cheaper, it was like $4 difference. So yeah, I absolutely love this artwork. It's one of my favorite Nintendo 64 covers from the Japan catalog, like their games, their game art styling. I just love it. I don't know why. Maybe I could frame it, or yeah, maybe put it on display as in the display on my Nintendo wall or something. But it's definitely one of my favorites. So I was very happy that I ended up getting that game, and I couldn't believe it was actually still at that same store. Still shocked. This is we're into the Famicom stuff now. Rockman Soccer. I paid $2,300 for this, which was about $10 or $15 cheaper than the next copy that they had, and the reason is it doesn't have its manual, but it's not something having its manual all the time isn't overly as important to me, unless it's a game that I really, really want, or it's a really expensive game, so I just want to make sure it's complete. So with this game, it's not going to be one of the best games on the Super Famicom, but again, I wanted to have the full Rockman collection. So now I have this, I have the X1 to 3, and I also have Rockman Bass, and I have Rockman 7. So now I have all of them, and I'm pretty excited about that because, you know, I now have that collection that I can tick off and say, hey, you know, either what do I move on to next, or just, you know, be happy with the games that I have for the Super Famicom. And yeah, I'm definitely happy with the price that I paid for this. This was in Akihabara, and again at the new store that we went to this time, which is I think it's Sagura or something like that. Awesome little shop and fantastic prices, because when I was at the same store I ended up getting Dead Dance for 700 yen. And this is another fighting game. It looks really awesome. Yeah, it just looks like a cool fighter. And yeah, it was when we walked around for the rest of the trip, I'd seen this a lot more expensive in other stores. You know, double, if not, you know, in the $20 mark. So to pick this up for like $8 converted or something like that, I thought, yep, I've got to get that game. And it's something that I will play. Next, Tiny Toons Adventures. There are a few super cute Tiny Toons games. I've always enjoyed watching the cartoons as a kid, so I suppose like a part of me enjoys getting these games. So yeah, I definitely wanted to add this to the collection. There is another one that I'm missing, but I thought, you know, hey, I'll get this one. It ended up being 2100 from Trader 4, and I did check around the whole trip and found this. The only other time I really found this at a good price was cartridge only, and it was still 800 yen. So I thought, I'm not much of a cart collector anymore. I like to get the box. So yeah, I just thought for 2100 that was a pretty good game, and it looks like super cute and heaps of fun. It's another good Konami game, so I'm looking forward to playing that one. Final Fight 2 was on my list, and it got snapped up as soon as I seen it at the best price that I possibly could. I'd seen this a lot more expensive, not only on eBay but in other stores while we were in Japan as well. I ended up snagging this at Trader 4 for 2,080 yen, and Final Fight 2 is hopefully as good as Final Fight. Absolutely love that game. I have not played this one, but I'm just obsessed with Capcom at the moment. And I'm just adding so many games from Capcom and Konami, it's not funny. And yeah, I'm just so looking forward to this coming weekend so I can just stay in here and play heaps of games back to back, and with my husband, and we can just enjoy playing all of these excellent titles together. Another game that I was searching for forever to finish that collection was Rockman and Bass. So this, I believe, is Japan only release. There are repro carts that have been sold in other regions, but I definitely wanted the original. I have never played this. People always tempt me with playing ROMs and stuff like that, but it's not. I just want to play the real thing. So I've waited so long, so many years to play this game. Every time we've traveled to Japan, I have not been able to find it boxed, and that might sound really crazy, but I really couldn't find it most places. And you know, maybe my budget changed a little bit, like recently, that I was really wanting it, so I would pay over $100 for this game. That's probably what happened too. The only thing I kind of regret is that the spine is faded on one side, and I only realized that when I got home. I was just so excited to get this game that I didn't even check that when I was purchasing it. I was just like, give it to me, I need that game. And like just making sure it came out of the cabinet so I didn't miss out on it. And yeah, like I'm a bit disappointed in myself with that. But overall, the game is complete, and the box is in really nice condition, and it's one that I've really wanted for a number of years. And it turns out that if I had have gone to that new store, I would have got this $30 cheaper in Akihabara than when I went to a hard off outside the city. So it just still goes to show that there are some great bargains still out there. Then I purchased Chrono Trigger, which is an RPG. Everyone knows what Chrono Trigger is. I got that for 540 yen from a hard off. I've been wanting F-Zero for ages, and one of the reasons why I wanted the Japanese copy is because of the artwork at the back. It is so beautiful. I absolutely love this game. It's a classic, it's a great SNES title, and if you haven't played F-Zero, you definitely should check it out, but I will show a shot of this particular artwork. It's so beautiful. The detail, it just looks so awesome. Our ones over in Australia didn't get quite anywhere near that artwork. But this cost me 1,580 yen from Trader. I did end up finding this game boxed cheaper on the travels, which you will see pop up in some of those vlogs. Sometimes I'd find it for like 1,100, sometimes I'd find it for maybe not cheaper, but maybe around the same price. So I didn't feel like I got a bad deal on this one. It's in excellent shape. It does come complete, and yeah, the box is fantastic. So yeah, another good game for the collection that I didn't have before. And lastly, out of the way of games, I found this one. It's Radical Psycho Machine Racing. And as soon as I seen not only the cover, but the name, I was like, you have to buy that. So it ended up costing me 540 yen boxed from the hard off, and I thought that was a really cool game to get. So whether or not I like it or not, but the cover looks absolutely insane. All right, so now I've got two more things to show you guys, and they are two of the most probably expensive pieces besides the Rockman that we got. And firstly, is the Spicy Orange GameCube. This was a Japan release only in this color, and it has a Game Boy Advance that matches it. I really do want the Game Boy Advance more than I ever wanted the GameCube, but my friend Wayne's Games, who I will link into the description of this video as well, was just telling me how much he loved it when I met up with him last year. And I thought to myself, I was like, maybe I do like it. Like I really love the orange Game Boy Advance. And I've never really thought about buying this console until the last sort of 12 months. And I've never found one boxed over there. I find loads in the junk section for like a couple of dollars, but probably not working, and loads of controllers in the Spicy Orange, but I'd never found a box console. And in Ikebukuro Super Potato, there was unboxed ones for $50. I found this boxed one for $50 at Trader 4. So I'm super happy about it. And I think it was an absolute great deal. And yeah, like I'm really happy that I ended up getting this color. Like I don't know why I never really thought about trying to get one prior to that. But yeah, just being able to find one boxed, I suppose, is definitely more desirable as well. And I'm very happy that we ended up finding that one. And then lastly is the Panasonic Q. Now, this is another GameCube that was released from the collaboration of Panasonic and Nintendo together, and it was released at the end of 2001, and it only had a life cycle of probably 2 years. It was not very popular in Japan, and thus sold only in Japan. Never released was released to the rest of the world, which is kind of a shame because it is quite a beautiful console, and the fact it's a DVD player as well is quite desirable. But they did this collaboration to compete in the market with PlayStation 2 and the Xbox, which both could play DVDs. And yeah, it is kind of a shame that this didn't take off. It's very highly collectible now, and I've found this a number of times over in hard offs, but they were never ever working. And even for the price that I paid for this is what they were asking for like non-working ones in the junk section. So I ended up getting this converted, like just a rough conversion. I think it was about $156 Australian, and it comes with a GameCube controller, which is not the original one. The original one is more of a silver, and it does have Panasonic on here. So what I will do is sell off the indigo color and maybe sell something else just to fund being able to get this other controller, because it's about $110. This one does come with the Panasonic controller, remote control. But yeah, it's absolutely awesome, wicked little unit, and it is something that we're definitely going to be setting up. And I'm not sure if you guys know much else about the history and can let me know a bit more, but I do know a little on this. But yeah, if you have one yourselves, if you've got a boxed one, if you love the Panasonic Q as much as we do, let me know as well. Or if you love the GameCube, because I'm going to be starting to work on that library now pretty heavily for the Japanese titles. I do have a number of games, but you know, I'm slowly starting to slow down in other areas of my console and game collecting. So I'm going to be looking at other areas that I feel still at the moment are really competitive in pricing, because that's one of my main things behind my collecting is I like to get good deals. I don't like to pay too much, which goes without saying, but I also like to get really good games for consoles. So yeah, if you've got any suggestions on games I should play, let me know. If you also have played any of the games I've shown you today or have any questions about their units, please also hit the comments section. Don't forget to like this video and hit the subscribe if you haven't already subscribed to my channel. But I hope you've enjoyed looking at the pickups from Japan. It's been probably a long video, and I've enjoyed doing it. So now I'm going to get into shooting some of this stuff and playing Gunner's Heaven, because I've been dying since I got home to play the game because I've been so excited to get it. But thank you very much for tuning in, and I'll talk to you next time.